The Bristol, Indiana Heritage Society's mission is to preserve and make available online the story of Bristol, Indiana and vicinity. The Bristol Banner was a local newspaper that for many years contained a wealth of stories about what life was like throughout Bristol's early history. These were great stories, and the following is from a special article that appeared on the Banner's 62nd birthday in 1939. The paper was established April 13, 1877 by Cyrus Mosier and was continuously owned by the Mosier family. Cyrus was followed by his son H. H. Mosier and then by his son H. F. Mosier. It was reported to be the oldest weekly newspaper to be owned and operated by one family and never to have changed its name or merged with any other paper in the state of Indiana. So use your historical imagination to enjoy what Bristol's life was like in 1877, using the Banner's first edition as a guide. In advertisements from the 1800s, the term "the old stand" referred to the original or long-established location of a business. It signaled to customers that the business remained at its familiar, trusted premises, even if there had been changes in ownership.
I'm H.F. Mosier, the third editor of the Banner. Let's take a quick look at what downtown Bristol was like in 1877. G.W. Warren conducted a wagon and carriage repair shop, and in his ad states, "Produce taken in exchange." D.C. Bishop also had a wagon shop in connection with H.R. Case's blacksmithy. D.H. Johnson had a blacksmith shop on Apollo Street. And Sanders and Borst had a like establishment on Main Street. At about the time the Banner made its appearance, L.A. Congdon opened a drugstore at Dr. Alverson's Old Stand. Opened in competition with George W. Seeley and C.F. Johnston, the Congdon Drug Company of today remains as a surviving descendant. All three druggists advertised pure liquors and wines for medicinal purposes. William R. Merritt and Sons with the Triple Union Store, William Coss and Company, Hilbish and Company, and S.B. Romaine conducted the principal dry goods business. From the advertising, it can be guessed that business must have been good. The Triple Union Store, for instance, stated, "The largest stock of merchandise in Elkhart County and sold at prices that defy competition." The Romaine store had been established in 1837, nearly 40 years before the Banner, and advertised that the proprietor could be found at the office of the U.S. Express Company, of which he is agent, to attend to the duties of notary public and law, making a specialty of divorce. T.R. Ward conducted a restaurant and advertised ice cream in its season and fresh bread constantly on hand. The aches and pains of those days were attended by Doctors F.M. Aitken and J.S. Dodge, and Doctors H.W. Brazy and J.E. Barber. F.M. Rowe conducted the Bristol House with livery and connection, and with the latter business being handled by B. Sterner. A. Stom advertised himself as a practical barber and hairdresser, and his notice continued with best brands of cigars constantly on hand, also billiard table in connection. "I mean business," said W. W. Wilson in announcing his new meat market. And the Reinhardt and Virgil Meat Market was doing business at the Old Stand. J.W. Traeger conducted a saddle and harness manufactory on Main Street. And in the rooms overhead was the art gallery of A. Cathcart. The boot and shoe business of the community was handled by B.F. Haddle, Michael Donovan at the Old Reliable Shoe Shop, and J.H. Miller. C.E. Bickle was in the hardware business saying, "My prices are as low as the lowest." And his son, W. W. Bickle, is still doing business on the same corner. Mrs. R. Krug had a line of ready-made goods and men's furnishing goods, also a fine line of jewelry. E. E. Walker conducted a clock and watch shop in connection with the Sealy drugstore, and D. Sullivan was a dealer in furniture, picture framing, cabinet work, and undertaking attended to with the greatest care. A brand new grocery store was operated by F.G. Romaine, and his ad in blackface type gave notice of goods delivered to any part of the corporation. Business of the town was handled by the following officers: Andrew Aitken, William Koss, and George Milburn as trustees, Thomas Hilbish, treasurer, F.G. Romaine, clerk, and J. Schelt, marshal. The Banner issued 1,000 copies of its first edition and consisted of 4 pages, 7 columns each, about 9 columns being devoted to local advertising, as we have seen. The subscription was $1.50 per year. And as a grandson of the founder, Cyrus F. Mosier, I'm proud to copy from his first editorial, "We shall ever put forth our very best endeavors to advance the interests, morally and financially, of Bristol and its vicinity, and hope that with the cooperation of the citizens, we may be able to elevate the standards of society and bring wealth and prosperity to our citizens." Grandfather, we are carrying the torch.